Kia ora, Berry Babes. Welcome back to another Berry Babes podcast, a space where we go beyond the surgery, beyond the scales, and into the mindset, habits, and heart of what it really takes to live your best life after weight loss surgery. I'm your host, Lauren Peat, bariatric nurse specialist, mindset coach, and someone who's walked this journey just like you. The messy parts, the healing, and everything in between. This episode is one that's going to hit close to home today. It's a beautiful day here. It's starting to get cold though. Is it cold up your ways, Marie? It's like I feel like as the morning got on, it got colder.
It's actually a lovely day though, like beautiful blue sky, so I'll take it. I
beautiful
love it when
here
it's a
too.
nice crisp morning. Yeah.
Although the wind's starting to pick up. It was really windy here last night, like crazy windy. Like, whew, I thought we were going to get blown away. So it must be coming up from Wellington if they've got a state of emergency. So that might be what's going on. But yeah, we're just in the club at the moment. We've been talking around all or nothing, and it's been quite enlightening for all of us just to really start to flag that awareness. That one of mine that I was just mentioning to Marie, and she's like, "This needs to be chatted about on the podcast," so we're going to do it. Is it's really easy to get stuck in like a derailment when it comes to all or nothing. Like it really becomes a literally all or nothing. And for me, I've started swimming. So I've been swimming 3 times a week for the last 3 weeks-ish, I think. Which has been really cool to finally get back into that. I used to do competitive swimming and all that, so that was it was nice to finally do something for me. Being a mum before, like it's hard to, and juggling work and business and everything, it's hard to find some time to carve out for just me for something that I actually enjoy. And so it's been really cool to start prioritizing that. However, I committed that this week I was going to swim Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And however, my period showed up last night, so I hadn't really planned that one into my swimming escapades. And so day one of your period is not the best day to go swimming, really. But it was really interesting because my brain immediately went into, well, if you're not going swimming, you're not doing this, you're not doing that, then and you might as well do nothing today. And it was very much all or nothing. Obviously, I am still going to push through and do stuff, but it is amazing how quickly your brain goes, I might as well just go back to bed for the day.
Yeah. It's so quick and easy, right?
And I have the luxury where I could do that if I really wanted to, but it's not the point, right? Like having my period, there's no reason to just stay in bed all day, although it's totally valid. Like if I wanted to, cool, but it shouldn't be a very much all or nothing decision. And so yeah, it's crazy how that happens and shows up. Hey?
Yeah. And I was the same, and I had shared in the Success Club, like this morning, my neighbour, because we're cross lease, and so they had a water leak, so I had to turn the water off. And then what that meant for me is I could not have a coffee. That's what I told myself. So I might as well stay in bed until the water's back on. And I actually did stay in bed until the water was back on. Luckily, it wasn't too long, but it was interesting, that whole thought pattern of, oh, well, I can't, get up and have my coffee and do the things, in the order that I'd normally do, have my shower and everything. Whereas actually that wasn't true. Like I still could have got up and had my coffee because firstly, I've got a hot water cylinder, so I could have just used the hot water tap. I also have a water filter that had water in there. And my kettle still worked, so I could have, done that, but it was just so quick and easy on, actually I'm just gonna ride it out. To be fair, I did not want it to be too long, but it was that thought process, and then it was really cool just to be aware of it though. And
and just how quickly like it can derail. Like for me, like the whole day, right? I was like, oh, I'll do nothing today. It's like, why? What? Yeah. Like logically that makes zero sense, but when you're stuck in an all or nothing, and it's very real, and like that rational side of it, like, because I do think it's that rational not engaging, right? That you just go like, nah, I'm good.
But it's really interesting how your brain is so powerful that it actually can stop you from doing everything. It's just kind of an excuse, that first excuse, and that's kind of what I thought. Luckily mine was only about half an hour. But it would be interesting to see how long I would have stayed in bed for, like it was, I had absolutely no problem doing that. For that half an hour, I should say. But yeah, it was that brain, how powerful it is.
Yeah, and just how quickly you kind of get into that without, and if you're not even aware you're doing it, right? Like, whew.
Yeah, because I was never aware before, like at all. And so now I just think it's really awesome just to be able to see it, and then I can make those choices. So that whole awareness piece is so vital.
Absolutely. What's going on in your world at the moment, Marie? What's new? What's the latest?
Oh my goodness. Complete mind blank. I don't even know what's new. I'm taking an extra aqua aerobics class tonight.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so then that's kind of also throwing out my day plans as well. But they're still okay. But it's just, yeah, really interesting. So I was really glad that I was already prepared, with a playlist and things like that for if this would ever happen, with not much notice. But I at least had a few hours notice, so that's good.
It's interesting is both of us, as you know, have ADHD, and it's interesting because the ADHD brain life goes on hold, right? When we've got something that's happening really later on in the day, it's kind of like, oh, I can't do anything now. Again, all or nothing, right? And so it can really throw everything out. Like I spent the whole weekend, for those that don't know, I just started a very part-time job, like 8 hours a week, nothing. But I started that and I literally spent, I think, most of last week and all of the weekend just mentally preparing for 4 hours work on Monday. And it's just crazy that that's kind of that, I had been prepared like over weeks around what clothes am I going to wear for work and all that kind of stuff. But then getting to like the night before, I'm like, oh, what am I going to wear? And I'm like, what is going on? Like I had kind of already mentally prepared for this, so why am I not thinking this through? So it's amazing how much our brain just kind of changes the plan on you over and over. But then, yeah, sometimes getting really stuck, and I do think that's a really big ADHD brain. Like, even just appointments, waiting for an appointment. So you've got a meeting at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and if it's something that's reasonably important, your whole life goes on hold.
I think you're super early too.
Yeah, or you forget about it and then you turn up late or forget about it altogether because that happens too. Yeah. And being a mum before, like I am managing everyone's schedules all the time, so it's very real that I forget stuff sometimes, which is totally understandable, but equally very frustrating because my brain, I don't want to be the person that I don't identify as someone who forgets appointments, but can be a reality. I have missed actually when Aurora, my 2.5-year-old, was little, I literally missed twice in a row her immunization appointments because I just felt at like the end of the day and it had fallen off my radar, by 3 o'clock and my brain's turning off for a couple of hours before I come back and do Success Club in the evening. So yeah, no. Computer said no. And I was like, I'm so sorry. I just am not making that.
Oh, it's so
yeah,
funny.
it's amazing. Just when things go wrong, they can go very wrong, right?
They can. But then also equally understanding your brain, right? And then because that's such a strength, and if you know how to use it and how your brain works, because it was interesting you said, even though I've said that I've got a playlist, that was already that I had created, a little while ago, I still need to go and check it again because what if it's not the right songs now because I created it, a couple of months ago. So I do still have that in my head. So even though I've got a backup, like, yeah, I still have stuff to do. And then that will just keep using up my energy until I've done it.
Yep.
So actually, I might do it straight after this.
Good plan.
Yeah.
Because yeah, then you're gonna be sitting and then I don't know about you, but I sit a lot in the what ifs sometimes when it's something like this. You're singing the what ifs. Oh, what if I forget this? What if I do that? What if what if the speaker doesn't? All the things.
Yes. Yep.
So yes, no, it's I think it's a learned behavior, right? For coping strategies as ADHD, we don't like to be wrong. We don't like to be told off because we've dealt with that a lot in our lives of being the kid that couldn't sit still. So we were always in the wrong, or the kid that wasn't paying enough attention, or whatever that looked like growing up. Or getting fixated on the wrong things, like the wrong things, right? And so then, yeah, carrying forward into our adult life. Oh, well, we need to make sure all our ducks are in a line, and that includes putting everything on hold until we know that this is going to pan out how we would ideally like to see it plan out. However, we don't have a lot of control over that as much as we'd like to have control, right?
Exactly.
And so it's amazing how we just need to release a little bit of control is maybe as uncomfortable as it can be for some of us sometimes. Yeah.
It is uncomfortable, yes.
Yes. But it gets easier the more you do it. And it's around, I think one of the biggest things that I'm really focusing on at the moment is not finishing the conversation with myself, or like especially when it comes to like the excuses or the reasons and whatnot, instead of being like, oh, stopping at that it is what it is, like, oh, well, I'm just really stuck in XYZ. It's like, oh, okay, so why am I stuck in this? What's going on? Where is this coming from? What else could I do? Like I really continue the conversation with myself rather than it just being like, oh, that's it. That's just how I am. Like, even down to me going on hold for the day. It hasn't just been I'm going on hold for the day. It's like, well, what's the alternative? If I do go into the office and hang out there, what does that look like? What does that feel like? What about staying home? What does that look like? What does that feel like? What's the pros of me being at home? What's the cons of being at home? And I actually can really start to rationalize that thinking rather than, I just want to go and stay up in bed, right?
Which is so good, like getting curious with it, and yeah, not beating yourself up. And so while I'm not doing that, I am focusing on progress, not perfection. So for example, if I really, which is always, don't want to fold and put away the washing, I'm now just been like, okay, let's just start. Let me just start. And it's okay if I don't finish right now. I can finish, in a half an hour or whatever. But yeah, just being okay with just starting. And then that's really helpful for my brain too. To like on that whole all or nothing. It's like, no, we'll just do what we can.
What I found works really well for like folding washing and stuff for me is like putting some headphones in and listening to music or a podcast or something, because then my brain is still getting kept busy, because I feel like folding washing is quite mundane. Like
it is, yes.
Yeah.
It's just like the dishes, right? It's the stuff you have to do all the time. Going to the grocery store. Oh,
I call my laundry pile Mount Washmore because I just feel like it's just always there and there's always more.
Yeah. Oh gosh, it's so crazy. Yeah, like my daughter will go through about 3 outfits a day, so it's lovely. And then I like to wash everything straight away. Like, it's okay.
I have to do at least one load of washing a day for our household. Like I just any less than we fall behind, and I'm having to play catch up.
Yeah. I am. You'll need a couple of washing machines, right?
Maybe I do. I do have a very big washer dryer. So I don't know how, like the 10 kilo washing machines dryer, so they're huge. But to be fair, I'm not very good at folding washing. That is my least favorite job, so I just leave that to everyone else. I have the luxury to do that though. Partly because it just causes like huge overwhelm for me, and I'm like, I would much rather put my energy into something else, like tidying up, because I get instant dopamine hits from that because I can see things getting better.
Yes, I love a clean kitchen, so I would way rather do that than fold and put away washing, for sure.
We've got a kitten staying with us at the moment, so life is chaotic.
Oh, I did not. I saw that you'd posted, but I hadn't actually read it, to be fair. So was it your mother-in-law's?
Yeah, my mother-in-law's kitten. He's very cute. He is very feisty. So for those that don't know, we got a kitten in December. His name's Smokey. He's actually in here with me at the moment. So this kitten is like 10, 11, maybe 12 weeks, I don't know, old. So quite a bit younger than Smokey. But Smokey's still a kitten, but this kitten is about a third of Smokey's size, and he's just trying to kill him, basically. Not quite, but it feels like it. So it's very full on. This kitten is very teethy and clawsy, and Smokey is not. He's a pretty placid kitten. However, not with this kitten. Like, he is just like pouncing on him and going full attack mode, and it's quite intense. And so now everyone's locked in separate rooms at the moment.
Were they playing or were they
Yeah, it's playing, but because he's so little, it kind of escalates, and I think he's getting hurt, and I don't want to do that to my mother-in-law. That would not be good. And she's away for the kitten, yeah. And it's 2 weeks she's away for, so we need to make sure this is harmonious. Otherwise, It's gonna be a long 2 weeks.
Oh, but fun though. Kittens are so cute.
Yes, I know you and I often have our little kitty cats on our calls.
Yeah. It's because it was so much fun. They just want to be with us.
They just love our energy.
Yeah.
But yes, so yeah, that's been a little bit chaotic. Yes, shall I chat a little bit around my job? That might be interesting for
Yes.
people listening. So for those that don't know, hopefully you know by now, but I'm a registered nurse, also obviously a bariatric nurse, but in order to keep my nursing registration, I have to do so many hours of education per 3 years, and I'm definitely due to do some more. So I've been considering what I should do for my education. Don't get me wrong, I'm constantly upskilling anyway. That isn't really the issue. It's just a lot of the skills aren't recordable, if that makes sense. I do read a lot of books and listen to a lot of podcasts and do a lot of like reading of research articles, but physical courses I don't do a lot of. And so I need to meet that requirement. And so I decided I was going to go back to university and finish off my postgraduate diploma. So I have one paper to go. And I haven't studied in 5 years, so I should do some more. Um, Unfortunately, this paper that I need to do, or fortunately, I'm not sure, it depends how you look at it. The next paper I need to do, I need to be in hands-on nursing practice, and unfortunately, Zoom doesn't count, and so I spend a lot of time working with patients via Zoom. However, I need to actually be clinically assessing people, and that doesn't really count in my field. So I reached out to a doctor that I know, and he was lovely enough to offer me a position for 8 hours a week, so 2 mornings a week, where I can go in and do a whole heap of assessments and work using all my clinical knowledge. And yeah, I started that job yesterday, and it was really awesome. Like I was really blown away with how quickly everything came back to me. Like I do use critical thinking and a lot of triage and all sorts of work in this line of job because there's always post-op complications that we're trying to look at and what's going on. However, I don't get the variety that GP practice has. And so I back in the day I used to work at a men's prison, and so I used to be the GP nurse basically. So I was doing all of general practice back then. So it was really cool yesterday when I was shadowing the doctor to actually have it all start really coming back to me. And just the variation, like we saw all sorts of different types of clients yesterday and or patients. And yeah, it was really interesting and I really, really enjoyed it. So and my brain was taking over and getting to the same conclusions that the doctor was. So that was really nice to kind of self-validate what has been going on. And yeah, so I'm really inspired around that. And also it's going to benefit all of our clients as well because I'm actually working towards my nurse prescriber and then I'll do my nurse practitioner. So I have about a year till I'm qualified as a prescriber. So this next paper and then one more. And then I will be able to really look at people's medications post-op as well. So if people are diabetic or if they're got high cholesterol or high blood pressure or what have you, obviously within reason, telehealth has its limitations being on Zoom. But I will be able to hopefully support a little bit more around those decision makings with using my knowledge. The doctor I work with is also awesome and he's very excited around my background and experience. So that's nice as well to have that little bit of appreciation on my knowledge base. But yeah, and I'm really excited because I can just see our coaching team really flying at the moment and everyone's really finding their groove in our 5 sessions a week. Just nice little bit of variety going on and client growth again. I feel like I say this every month, but I feel like I just keep seeing people evolving and changing and growing, and it's really cool. Um, and it only takes showing up, which, you know, that could be very all or nothing, but just showing up is a reasonably easy tick list, right? Like you don't even have to have your camera on, you can just show up.
Yeah. Yeah, no
Yeah.
camera, no mic, and a lot of people start off that way, but then they really soon notice how safe it is and how much of a difference as well. But just hearing other people's stories and kind of the tools and strategies, it's just so helpful. And then you can recognize it within yourself, how you are reacting to certain things. And I just love that. It's just a
Yeah.
different way to learn,
And
ultimately.
even us as coaches as well, right? We are very much involved. It's not like we were like, do as I say. No, we are taking part and sharing our learnings
Yeah.
and our stories and learning along the way as well, because I feel like as a community, we have so much to teach each other.
Yes. Yeah.
And
And you're learning for life as well. So, it's, yeah, not just one and done. So
no,
I'm all for it.
yeah, and then we've got our retreat coming up, so we're starting to work on that. So that's really exciting. For those that are in New Zealand and are interested, we're off to Methven. That's how you say it, right? Methven.
I think so. I mean, I'm North Island too, so I'm going to go with
Yeah,
yes.
we're both from the North Island, so we're coming down south, and hopefully it's
Yes.
not too cold. But yeah, so we're coming down to just out of Christchurch, about an hour out of Christchurch. We will meet people at the airport if people need picking up. And yeah, we're going to have a weekend together, go to some hot pools, do heaps of amazing self-learning and growth and mindset work, and just really learn to spend a weekend on yourself, learning to grow that mindset and actually set yourself up to succeed long term, because that's the aim of the game, right? Is really being able to have freedom from food noise, freedom to choose, freedom to be you, just living the best version of your life. And I love that. I love that I can help curate that for people. So yeah, fun.
And I think it's also, like learning that self-trust, but also like you're worth going on a retreat, like spend that money and learn what, because this is your life, and it's just really interesting. It's so easy to think of excuses of not to do whatever it is, but actually realize how important you are and how much you are worth it. So just in general in life.
I know it's interesting because old version of me would have not seen value in going, like paying to go to a retreat, because I have quite a high financial story, and for me, like, oh, that's a lot of money. But now knowing what I know and the incredible transformation that goes on with a weekend with us, like, and just how much personal growth can happen in that time, and just how much your life could change by putting that money in. And it's nothing compared to your surgery cost, right? Like nothing.
Right. Yeah.
And just,
Or for what you spend on food in like probably a month, like, or
yeah.
maybe not quite,
I
but
mean, for my household, if I Uber Eats, say, even just for Sean and I, say burger fuel, we're looking at $80. Like,
yeah,
so, add that up over a few months, and it's pretty much paid for a treat, which is insane. And I'm not saying we do that all the time, but some people are buying takeaways all the time, and they're stuck in a rut. And, it's okay, acknowledge it, but just know that it doesn't have to be who you are. And you don't have to get stuck in that feeling like you have no other option and this is just the way you are, because it's not true. And, we're both perfect examples of coming back from the brink of destroying yourself over again, because you have the surgery and you fix things, well, you think you fix things, and then back on the brink again, and how the heck did I end up here? So really, just if you give no other gift to yourself this year, invest in you, however that looks like, whether it's with us, whether it's with another bariatric coach, whether it's with a dietitian or someone that gets you. That's the most important thing. Like there's Marie's a perfect example. She's worked with almost everyone in the industry in terms of bariatrics, but you don't always click with the same people. And I've had other clients as well that have come from other coaches and whatnot. And the reality is that you get what you need at the time, but sometimes the other person doesn't quite get what you need. And so it's really around finding the person that speaks your language.
And don't be scared to look around as well. I think that's the other key, right? Sometimes, especially being a people pleaser, you can try with, somebody. And that's the same with GPs, houses, everything. But you don't want to hurt their feelings by changing. But it's actually okay to change. And people do all the time.
Well, think about it like buying a house, right? How often do you buy, if you were to buy a house, how often are you buying the first house that you see?
Yeah, I did not.
No.
Although I did get over looking at houses quite quickly. but no, I did not.
Yeah, and so you need to, like, no house is generally going to be perfect unless you build it for yourself, and then even then you probably work out, oh, I shouldn't have done it like this. But the reality is that you get the house that matches your needs list the closest, right?
Yeah.
And then often, if it's not quite there, there's little tweaks that you do later on to like build on that and change it. And so choosing the right coach, choosing the right support option for you can look a little bit like that. Some need major renovations. Sometimes you're like, this building is not working for me. I need to like take down half. And that's where you change to a whole new provider, right? Sometimes it is actually, you know what? She's got good bones. She's gonna see me through. We're good. I can deal with the little bit of cosmetic, maybe the wallpaper's falling off. Do you know what I mean? But we can deal with that. So it's really around being comfortable and choosing exactly the right support system that's going to work for you. And yeah, I realize I'm not everyone's cup of tea. I realize the team is not everyone's cup of tea. Yeah, but I'm okay with that because I would rather work with amazing people who I am for them because I speak the language that they understand and that they just absolutely flourish. Because I would hate to work with someone who's miserable working with me. Right? Like, nobody wants to. Yeah, imagine going to the supermarket and you've just got someone who's checking you out like, have a good day. Nah. Because no, I'm not doing it. I would rather hang out with the people that really gel. And so these podcasts are a great intro to this because you get to see Maree and I in our like unfiltered form because we just chat about everything and all the stuff we don't get to talk about in the success class. Like we do elements of this, but there's often not enough time, right? And so this is unfiltered real us. And this you get what you see with us. Like we're not pretending to be something we're not. We literally are like this and even in real life. You don't, there's no fakeness. It's obviously I'm professional. I am a professional, but we are totally real and we're totally honest and authentic. And so if that's your vibe, then you are welcome to come and hang out with us. We would love that. If you want to pretend that everything's fine, probably not for us, and that's okay.
But if you change in the future, then let us know. But I think that's also the other key, right? Like your needs right now are not your needs that you will need in 5 years' time. So it's really important to also realize that. So your needs do change, just like growth continues for life. So yeah.
And I want you to know, like, you as a person can change because I think a lot of people don't realize how possible that is for them. And even me, right? Before I started doing this work, I just thought that I am who I am and that's what happens. And I just can't control myself around food and it is what it is. And it's just an addiction, right? That was kind of the story that was going on for me. Knowing now that that was a total racket, that was a total story that I was telling myself, mind blowing, like I can actually get to be the version of me that I want to be. I can be whoever. It's like starting a job, right? Like I just did. You get to portray yourself however you want to. Nobody knows you from a bar, so like obviously I did have connections going into this job, but generally, like you start a new job, other than the interview you had, people generally don't know who you are. So you get to create, and it's not about being inauthentic, but you actually get to create the version of you that you want to be in that job. Your actual life is no different. You can curate it. You can choose to live the version that you want to live. It's a choice. And so I think people get stuck in that, oh, but this is how I am. But it doesn't have to be.
Right.
And
Or
I
they're
think,
too scared to change as well.
yeah, or they don't know how to change, right? And
Mm.
sometimes it's just having a bit of a roadmap and how do I change? How does this look like for me? So
But
yeah,
it's interesting you said that because I never thought until I started doing this work, my whole life has changed. And I also was somebody who always thought, yes, I was just addicted to food. I'm always going to be effectively on a diet, even not like too much, but, like have to have that as being quite a strong focus, the numbers on the scales. I'm just like, this was just going to be for life. But it's not like, it's so different. My whole life, the way that I feel about myself and about my life is very different. And it's really interesting you said, like, in the interview for some new jobs, I remember thinking, oh, am I being a bit much? Because sometimes I can be. And then I was like, nah, because that's now how I live. So my first virtue that I live, or value that I live by is being me. So being authentic. So, and that's just what my whole focus has been since kind of changing my whole life around in a way in the last 6-8 months. And yeah, and I can be me. So then that's okay. And not everybody will love me, and that's all right.
yeah,
I love me.
we love you too.
Good answer, Lauren.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
But yeah, and if you can love you, how good, right?
And it's a real thing. I never ever thought that it would even be possible. Like I could never even imagine it, but it's a real thing. Like to actually and to be so grateful for your body and who you are. Like it's pretty crazy.
It's life changing. It really is life changing when the world of possibility opens up for you.
Yes.
And it's possible that you can say the same for the rest of your life. Like that, you could have, right?
Yep. I could have, yes.
Yeah. But now you know different. And now you have the freedom to choose and
And now I'm happy. Like I'm so excited with life and I feel so happy. And I think that that's really important that people know that that's possible. Yeah. Like you don't have to keep doing what you're doing.
You don't have to hate yourself anymore.
Right. And that's a real thing, not just dislike, actually hate. Like that self-hatred it's a real thing.
Yeah. Oh, I bloody lived it, honestly.
Yeah.
I used to hate myself. I actually fundamentally didn't like anything about myself. And that's horrific.
Yeah.
And like, you as a friend, Maree, was and they're like, why would you hate? But we do, like, we literally just inflict this, it's vile, the stuff that we would say to ourselves, right? Like, just.
Yeah. You'd never say it to anybody else, like, and nobody would ever say it to you either. But what you say to yourself, it's pretty hard out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's soul destroying. And I can understand if you are in that spot where you just are constantly still doing that to yourself. It's a really big hole to pull yourself out of.
Yeah.
Especially when you don't even realize that you can.
Yes. Yeah. And you don't think anybody else would want to help, almost that, like you want people to perceive you a certain way and you'd hate for them to actually really know what you really thought of yourself, right? Like,
yeah.
But there's people who will help. So I just think that that's really important. Like you don't have to do it on your own, which is what I think is such a common thought that, oh no, I'll just get through it. Like this is just what it is, but it's not. So.
And every single person in our community is doing the work, like working through that stuff, working through changing their life. And I dare say, even changing their family tree, right?
Yes, yes.
Because it's not just about us, it's about our kids, it's about our family, it's about how, because, if we're the consequence of generations of stories, right? Generations of like that self-hatred came from a place of seeing potentially, and this is just a generalization, your mum looking in the mirror and not seeing what she liked. And she equally probably saw that growing up, and it's just been passed down. And so we fundamentally made ourselves wrong for being who we are. But it doesn't have to stay like that. And so you owe it to your kids, to your nieces, to your nephews, to your grandchildren to change that so that they can love themselves. Like, it's been really cool watching my now 12-year-old grow up, because a lot of the stuff I've started to shift and change over her most impressionable years, right? And she's really hit that hair and makeup stage, which is real fun. But she really doesn't care about who I she doesn't care about, like, she cares how she looks, but it's not from a place of I dislike everything about myself, so I need to change. She knows she's beautiful. She knows she's wonderful. She's smart and she's intelligent. And she doesn't take other people's ridiculousness, and she just really stomps on that. And I really love that self-confidence, because that's something I was lacking as a kid, because I felt like everyone put me down, and again, ADHD, made myself wrong for that. But she just takes everything in her stride, and it very much is, oh, well, if you don't like that, that's a you problem. And I love that for her. Like,
Yes.
how cool is that she's
Yeah.
just totally has that internal self-worth that she's grown that, but equally I hope that I've played a part in not feeding into insecurities. And so we owe that to our next generation, to not feed them all the crap and stories. And we love our parents, like some of us anyway, but like, it's not on them, but it is, we have a right and responsibility to help change that perception, that self-image.
Yes, definitely. And one thing that I've recognized since after having surgery was very much that while I used food as my reward to like celebrate and things like that, being a previous emotional eater, I then would do that with my daughter as well. So if she had either a happy occasion, or even if she was like had a bad day or whatever it is, that was my first thought, was what can I get you that you can eat to make you feel better? And so it was really interesting when I actually started recognizing that and then being able to change that. And again, it's only been from the Success Club. Like, otherwise I would just keep doing what I was doing. You don't even recognize it. And the other thing that's really cool is that nobody's there telling you off. Like, nobody's like, oh, you shouldn't be doing that. It's just everybody understands it. And then I learned different strategies and tools to get through whatever it is that I'm questioning. And then, I can it's just that awareness is the start of it. And then it feels super empowering that it's like, oh, I realize that and I've been able to make that change. And it's just made life so much easier, to be fair.
And that's amazing, actually. You're right. In Success Club, it's how often do we talk about weight?
Not very often at all.
No, it kind of is like a passing comment, maybe once a month, if that. Like, it's not at the crux of what we do. And for a group of individuals that weight has always been at the forefront, it's pretty crazy to actually be like, I can change your life without you having to worry about the scales.
Yes, yeah. And like, for me to reach my goal weight, and that's not even anything super exciting. Like, I mean, it's kind of like a tick box, to be fair, but it's everything else that's really exciting, like the confidence, the self-love, all of that stuff is like, yes, and yeah, but not like, the weight.
And I get it. Like, self-confidence has been huge for me. Like, going into interview. So, fun fact about this job, I literally reached out, like, there wasn't actually a job that existed. I just reached out and I said, hey, this is what I want to do. I used to work with you. Is there any chance you'd have a conversation with me? And they went, yep. And so old me would never have done that, because there's not a job. Who am I to reach out and say, hey, this is what I want to do? And so the confidence, like, the version of me you see now is definitely not the version of me that had like before I had surgery, like, or even a couple of years post surgery. Like, I was still trying to work out what confidence, like, you got the attention, right, in those first couple of years after the light started coming off, but again, I still didn't know how to use it. I didn't know what confidence looked like for me, so I was kind of inflicting still and not feeling great about myself. But for me to have the confidence 7 years post-op to be like, I'm just going to walk in. And the first time ever I've had a job interview where I felt like I was in an even keel, where I have enough business knowledge behind me, I have enough to bring to the table, that I wasn't like, oh my gosh, please give me a job. No, I literally was like, if you don't want to, that's cool. I just thought it was a cool idea. And this is what I can bring to the table. If you don't want me, that's fine too. I'll sort something else out. chat to some other people that I know, or I will just keep doing what I'm doing because I love what I do. And instead they went, oh yes, please. So, and also I even pushed back on my contract because there was stuff in there that I want to change. And old me would have just been, oh, I guess I'll just sign it. I don't love everything in here, but I'm just going to sign it. And it gets you respect when you can actually lead with confidence, when you can show up and be confident. And even, like me really landing with the clinical stuff in my new job yesterday, it gave me the confidence that actually, yeah, I do know what I'm doing. I do, like I did, but it just reinforces that. And so I just, there's not enough words to really describe how much confidence grows and not a faking it. And I do believe in the fake it till you make it in terms of confidence because that helps you build up more of that self-trust. But when you actually trust yourself, you trust that you are able to do the things, that confidence is attractive to so many other people, and you attract the right people rather than the people that just want to squish you because they see that you're less than because you're inflicting and hurting yourself over and over. So they're like, oh yeah, I can do that too, right? That's what bullying is. Whereas if you take with this new job, and I'm not saying there's any bullying there or anything, but I'm going for 8 hours a week, and if people want to be eggs, and I'm not saying that's happening at all, but if it were to, if I started a job that was had not such a great culture, I actually wouldn't put it on myself, whereas old me would have.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna be like, well, I'm only going 8 hours a week. That sounds like a them drama-filled issue. Cool. They can keep that in their lane. That's not about me. And so that's really cool because old me would have got sucked into the drama, would have been just like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? My self-worth is getting worse and worse, all of the things. And so it's really cool when we start to heal from the inside out and then start to grow and shine.
Yes. Yeah. And it's really awesome, and it's really contagious to see that as well. And then you can be like, oh my gosh, so you were able to do this. Maybe I could do that. I've had a couple of friends who have made huge life changes, and I've just found that really inspirational, over the last couple of years. And it's like, oh my gosh, if you can do it, I can too. Like one moved to a completely different city in less than a week from her deciding factor until she was there.
Wow.
And I was just like, oh my goodness. So then when I made a big life-changing event thing last year, I kept thinking of her and I was like, she did it, I can too.
And it's panned out perfectly for you, right?
It is the best thing I ever did, honestly. My life is, just so amazing. Which sounds really cheesy, and I don't want it to sound that way, but that's just how it is. That's just how I feel, so. Bless you. Bless you.
Thank you.
Lucky you can edit that out,
eh? Maybe if I can be honest. Yeah. Otherwise, apologies, guys. Oh, it's no small feat editing a old podcast, I'm very much MVP, like minimum viable product, just get it out, unfiltered, authentic. It is us.
It's so funny. I never actually watch any of them, so I have no idea how much editing you do. I just come for the chit chat.
You come for I love that. Yeah. And sometimes we forget to record, so then we are literally just having a chit chat right now.
Lot, to be fair, which is why I was like, we need to start recording this one.
So yeah, I hope this is a great listen because we really love doing these for you guys. It's really rewarding for us to be able to expand our conversations further than what we can in the club in the hour that we've got, because the club is great and we do share our knowledge and we share our experience, but equally the huge value is hearing other people's stories, hearing where everyone else is at as well. And so I would never want to take away from that. And I also don't expect anyone to spend 2-3 hours of their day on a Zoom call with us. And so this is a really nice way for us to really share some of the more lived in experiences of life after bariatric surgery. And even how far post op I am, it's still, I live it every day because of work, but it's still very much an important part of my identity. And that's a conscious decision. Some people identify as, oh, I had surgery 30 years ago and it means nothing now. But for me, it'll still be fundamentally one of the best decisions I ever made. And so I carry it with me every single day because I owe that to me. And that's not at a negative way, but I owe it to me in the positive way. And the way that I show up in my life is that if I actually, I shared this in the club the other day. I'm really big on future doing things now so that future Lauren is happy about it. And what that means is that often I might do the hard so that the future is easier, so that I can be like, thank you, past Lauren, for doing that. And that equally gives me two moments. I get the first dopamine hit of, I'm doing this for future Lauren, because it's almost kind of separating out that personality a little bit where you're like, it's someone else, but it's actually me because the people pleaser in me likes to do that, right? But then future me is also getting that dopamine hit of, thank you so much, past Lauren. Like, that's great. I really, really appreciate that you did that because it saved me so much time, energy, mental space, whatever it is. And so, yeah, I think that's been a really cool perspective that I've started to, like, I've been doing it for a while, but to embrace a little bit more in my day to day. Do you do anything like that, Marie?
Well, to be fair, I was really happy I went to the grocery store after Success Club last night because that meant that I had my great breakfast that I really love. And now I've got leftover dinner, which is really great because I've got aqua aerobics and then Success Club. So I only have a half-hour gap in between. And so I'm not going to have to worry about it because I've got it ready. I've got leftovers. So I'm really happy about that.
Right.
Yes.
I've already got my dinner on today too, actually. I've got a beef stew in the crock pot. Yeah, that's like one of my favorite meals. My kids hate it, but it's one of my favorite. I love beef. Like, if I could just live on beef for the rest of my life, I think I would be happy. Like, just steak and mince and anything slow cooked beef. Oh my gosh, so good.
I love
But
all meats. Not so
yeah,
much seafood though. I'm not a huge seafood fan, but yeah, I also love like the chicken and the pork. Yeah,
I'm not a
beef for
huge
sure.
pork fan, just saying. I like bacon. I like ham, but that's about it in terms of the pork options.
Bacon's a no-go so much for me after surgery. That and
Okay.
mayonnaise are my two things that
Oh,
I think of. Like I can have it if it, like if I have eggs Benedict and things, but I won't buy it. So I never buy bacon and mayo. The thought of it, I'm like, ugh. But
ah.
it's really weird. Like it kind of gives me a bit of a nauseous feeling just thinking about it. But I can eat some of it depending on the brand and maybe what I'm feeling like on the day. But yeah, I don't buy it.
Oh,
Which is really
interesting.
weird because bacon and mayonnaise are both really yum.
Oh, like some of my favorite foods.
Yeah.
I mean, they are high in salt. Maybe it's the salt content that you're
Oh,
reacting to, particularly in the bacon. But yeah,
I
interesting.
knows.
I just
Oh
don't
yeah.
like the rest of pork because it tastes like bacon, but not quite, and just puts me off. I've gotten better as I've gotten older. It's definitely something that's been since childhood. But yes, I don't know. And potentially supermarkets, pork is definitely different to farm pork. So we get a bit, not a lot, but a bit of meat from my husband's family's farm. And so yeah, farm raised pork is a lot different to supermarket pork.
Yes, it
But
is.
anyway, on the note of beef, I found this really amazing supplier for beef. Like it's just like a farm to home type thing. So like they have a butcher that does it all up and they just ship it to your house. And the meat is beautiful. And my husband's like raised on a sheep and beef farm and he's like, this meat is amazing. Like, supermarket mince or goes all watery.
Well, I
This
don't actually
doesn't.
buy supermarket nuts to be
Okay.
fair, because I also get home cool.
Oh, perfect. But yeah, it just we've been buying it for a little while from the supermarket, and I'm just like, nah, it's just you're like pouring off all the fat and the nah. But this stuff, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So my in-laws are probably not so bad, but we're buying beef from another farm, but we're not getting any beef from them, so go do what you gotta do. And I love my
You
beef.
do. Yep.
But yeah, beautiful, beautiful stuff from a we farm in the Taranaki. So yeah. bit closer to me, but I don't know how far afield they ship. But yeah, really yummy. And I keep looking at their website. I should buy some more, even though we still got heaps. But yeah, the addiction is real. It might be a slightly hyperfixation right now, but at least it's on. And I bought a beautiful loaf of crusty loaf bread when I went to the supermarket before, because I went to get some potatoes. Potatoes, just, we don't eat a lot of potatoes in our house, and so I've been buying like the bags of potatoes, but they keep going off because we just don't get through them. And so I ended up buying some tin potatoes. Have you had tin potatoes before?
No, I just don't buy a bag. I buy them where you can pick them. So you can only get a few. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I suppose that's fine in a household your size. Like with two
Yeah.
people, it's probably not too bad, but I just wouldn't know how many to get, so I would just buy a bag. But yeah, no, it doesn't work out for me. So,
How's your tin?
tin. My mum put me onto them a couple of years ago, and I've only bought them a couple of times, but I bought them today to put in my stew because I was like, I really like potato and beef stew. I don't do it every time, but I do like it. And so they're good. It's like $1.40 for a tin, and it doesn't did
Are
enough
they
for my
peeled
stew.
and cut?
Yeah,
Like,
they're
what do they
peeled.
look like?
Yeah, they're
Oh.
kind of like perlers, and they're in
Mm.
water. So then they easier to cut than you know how they're a little bit firmer when they're
Do they
yeah.
taste different? Like how
I'm pretty
just
sure they're fine from what I remember before. Like I still boiled them and stuff, but um, we'll see how we go with it in this one. Because yeah,
yeah.
like I said, I usually use potatoes from the bag, but I decided not to buy any this time because they keep going off. My husband's like, ah, checking out food. That's fine. We got to get used to waste.
Yes, yes. I always do feel really empowered though when I do like leave just a little bit of my meal and just throw it out. Like I just remind myself because it's a very much a story from when I was younger and things of not to do that, you always finish what's on your plate. And so then when I do, even if it's just a couple of bites, I just feel like, because either I'm going to eat it and it's going to be gone, or I'll throw it out and it's going to be gone. The outcome still is going to be gone. And what way do I want it? Do I actually want those extra 2 bites or whatever it is? I mean, if it's like half a meal, then of course I'll put it in the fridge and have that later. But when it's just a couple of bites, and it's kind of, that is what it is. It's going to be gone anyway. And it's just, you make the choice on where it's going.
I definitely have that conversation with myself at restaurants and stuff as well, because I struggle more so at restaurants because it doesn't look like you've had all that much, because obviously, particularly meals here in New Zealand are quite big, like when you go out. And but I have that mental conversation with myself as well around, well, old me would have finished this plate.
Yeah.
And the consequence of that, right, is that we would have ended up gaining weight or not losing if you're planning to lose. And so, yeah, I very much look at it, well, I would have eaten it, so then it would have gone in the, everything goes through us anyway and ends up waste. So let's not let's not do that step.
Yeah. Yes.
Stop when and full, because the consequences are more negative than I'd like.
Yeah. And it's really important to listen to your body, eh? Like that takes a while to be able to do that.
Yeah, like, so if you're a few years post-op and you're still getting the foamies, that is potentially one, you might be eating too fast, or two, that you're pushing yourself to eat more than your body's actually capable of eating. And it's a vicious cycle, right? Because as soon as you get the foamies, then you feel like, particularly if you bring it all up, then you have to start again, because you're empty again. So really just learning to know your limits is huge.
Yes, definitely.
Because
And it's easy to
extra
forget, and then that's why we remind stuff in the Success Club, right? Because you do forget stuff. You kind of go, life gets busy, and you just go back into your normal routine, just in general, your whole thought process, everything. But then being able to have the accountability and the reminders, and even just hearing other people's stories, and you're like, oh, actually, yeah, that's right, I do that too, and it helps make you more self-aware, which is really awesome.
Yeah, Absolutely. Absolutely. Wow, it's been an amazing episode. We're taking you a bit of a journey, and I love that. I love that so much. I hope you've enjoyed listening to Maria and I chat around all things bariatrics. We jump across all different lifespans of the bariatric journey because it doesn't matter where you're at, eventually you're going to come across some of this. So it's really exciting for us to share our experiences. And yeah, thanks for listening to another episode. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye, everyone.
Bye. So good. So good.